Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm 36. And 3 weeks ago, I canceled $700,000 worth of being the family doormat, with one text. For most of my adult life, I thought being dependable meant being invisible. I thought if I kept showing up, kept saying yes, kept paying the bills and shutting my mouth, maybe, just maybe, I'd finally be seen. Instead, I became the walking wallet. The fixer. The guy who could swing it. And when I couldn't? Well, let's just say my family made it crystal clear where I stood. This all started with a dinner. Or rather, the dinner they skipped. My son, Leo, graduated high school this year. Top of his class. Full ride to study aerospace engineering. The kid is brilliant, quiet, kind. And up until that night, he still believed his grandparents loved him. I made reservations at a nice restaurant downtown, nothing insane, but special. I invited my parents. My sister, Chloe. Her husband. I told them it was Leo's big night. I'd cover everything. All they had to do was show up. 2 days before the dinner, my mom called me while I was at work. She said, "Danny, we won't be able to make it to Leo's graduation dinner. We just can't swing it right now." No reason. No apology. Just those words. That night, Leo walked out in a button-down shirt, smiling. Said, "Ready, Dad?" And I said yes, even though I'd canceled 4 of the 6 seats. Even though I knew he'd notice. And when we got there and the hostess said, "Party of 2," he did notice. But he just smiled and said, "This place is really nice, Dad." Thanks. We ate. We talked. I tried to keep it light. I tried to make it enough. Later that night, Leo knocked on my bedroom door. His eyes were red. He was holding his phone. Did Grandma and Grandpa forget about me? And I didn't say a word. Because forgetting would have been kinder. This wasn't forgetting. This was choosing. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of anger. That would have been easier. It was something colder. Something heavier. I sat in the dark, thinking about all the years I spent trying to buy my way into a family photo. And then I opened my phone. My mom had posted. A private dining room. Balloons. A cake. A banner that read, "Congrats to Lily and Paige." My nieces, Chloe's twin girls. They just finished 5th grade. 5th grade. The same night they said they couldn't swing my son's graduation dinner, they threw a party for elementary school. I zoomed in on the photo. There was my dad raising a champagne glass. Chloe mid-laugh, feeding the twins cake. My mom hugging them like they'd cured cancer. Everyone dressed up. Everyone smiling. Everyone except Leo, because he wasn't invited. And neither was I. I stared at the photo so long my screen dimmed. I reopened it. Then I opened my banking app. 9 years of transactions. Monthly transfers. $6,800 on the dot. Mortgage, car insurance, groceries, phone bills, credit cards. Every month. No thank you cards? Just, got it. Or sometimes, nothing. I took a screenshot of the latest payment and opened the family group chat. I attached the image and typed just 2 words. Payment voided. Then I turned off my phone. By morning, there was banging on my apartment door like someone was on fire. I'd opened it to find my dad standing there, sweaty, panicked, with the kind of look you get when your favorite ATM suddenly breaks. He didn't say good morning. He said, "We need to talk." I didn't move. I just let him stand there, red-faced and rattled in the doorway. Then I stepped aside and said, "Coffee?" He followed me in without answering, like a man walking into a courtroom. "You can't do this," he started, voice shaking. "You can't just pull the plug without warning. We have bills, Daniel. The mortgage is due. Your mom's prescription refill is next week. The girls need new backpacks for school." I stirred my coffee slowly. "Why didn't you come to Leo's dinner?" He blinked. Like I'd changed the subject. "What?" "The graduation dinner. 2 nights ago." You said you couldn't swing it. Why? He shifted. His mouth open, closed. Chloe needed help. The twins were excited. And Leo wasn't? Silence. I set my mug down. He waited all night to see if you'd walk in that door. I lied to him. I told him you were proud. I told him you were just busy. He dressed up for you. He smiled through it. More silence. You've shown up to every recital those girls ever had. You babysit them. You post about them. You take them to Disneyland. Leo's had maybe 5 photos with you, his whole life. His face dropped. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. Not loudly. Just bitter. Fair would have been showing up. Fair would have been saying congratulations instead of we can't swing it while you're blowing up balloons for a 5th grade graduation. Daniel, he said, voice trembling now. We made a mistake. No, I said, standing straighter. You made a habit. Then I walked to my desk, pulled open the drawer, and set a thick red folder on the kitchen table. Inside, every payment, every emergency transfer, every receipt, all $893,000 worth of proof that I'd been your son, your safety net, and your silence. I'm done, I said. Find a new bank. He didn't touch the folder. Just stared at it like it might explode. You're really cutting us off? He whispered. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. He already knew. I gave you everything, I said quietly. I paid for Chloe's daycare. I covered your prescriptions. I co-signed Amanda's car loan. I paid for your damn internet so you could post photos of people who weren't even at my dinner table. He shook his head. That's not what this is about. It's exactly what this is about. I snapped. You made me believe being dependable meant being loved. But it just made me convenient. Useful. Disposable. He looked old suddenly. Smaller. Like the panic had started to settle into shame. I didn't think you'd ever walk away. He muttered. Yeah, I said. That was your first mistake. I pointed at the door. And he left. Not with a fight. Not with a final plea. Just quiet footsteps and a look I'll never forget. The door clicked shut, and for the first time in years, my apartment was silent. No buzzing phone. No requests. No guilt. I walked to the kitchen, poured myself the rest of the coffee, and sat at the table. Across from the red folder. I stared at it for a long time. Not out of regret. Out of clarity. This wasn't me being cruel. This was me being done. Done chasing crumbs from a family feast I was never invited to. The fallout hit faster than I expected. By day 3, I got an email from their mortgage lender, automated, but CC'd to me as the former emergency contact. Subject: payment declined. Immediate action required. I deleted it. By day 5, Chloe's husband, Ryan, somehow tracked down my work email. He wrote, Daniel, I don't know what's going on between you and your folks, but Chloe's phone got cut mid-call with a client. She lost a job because of it. Can you please just fix the service? We can sort out the rest later. I archived it. By day 7, my mom left a voicemail on my office line. I didn't pick up, but I listened, just once. Her voice was small. Panicked. Danny, please. We messed up. We should have been at Leo's dinner. We're so sorry. We never meant to hurt him. The power company sent a shut-off notice. We have 2 weeks. Please call me back. I didn't. Not because I didn't feel anything, but because I had finally started feeling everything I hadn't let myself feel for 9 years. By day 10, a letter arrived. Handwritten. My dad scrawled penmanship across a wrinkled envelope. He wrote, We're trying. I've been to interviews. Your mom's looking at part-time work. Chloe's cutting back. We just need 1 more month. Please. We're drowning. I folded the letter. I filed it in the red folder. Not out of forgiveness. Out of record-keeping. Because for once in my life, I wasn't going to forget. By day 15, Chloe cracked. She posted on Facebook. Public. Long and dramatic. She never used my name, but anyone with half a brain could connect the dots. Sometimes the people you trust the most turn their backs on you when you need them the most. My brother cut us off completely. No warning. No discussion. My daughters are asking why their uncle doesn't love them anymore. I don't have answers. I only know that family is supposed to forgive. The comments were a battlefield. Some people consoled her. Others asked what cut off meant. A few, bless them, pointed out that if your entire lifestyle crumbles because one person stops paying, maybe that's the problem. I didn't comment. I didn't even screenshot it. By then, the receipts were writing themselves. On day 18, someone sent me a screenshot of a neighborhood group post from my mom. Does anyone know a lawyer who works on payment plans? We're dealing with a financial emergency and need advice. People replied with offers. Some even offered prayers. Nobody offered money. Nobody asked what caused it. On day 25, I got an email from Amanda's car loan lender. As her co-signer, I was notified of default. 2 payments missed. Repo truck scheduled if nothing changed by Friday. I didn't even flinch. I just forwarded it to her, no message. Just a forwarded notice. She didn't reply. And that silence? That felt like peace. Day 30. The lights went out. I knew because of the email. Not a direct message, not even to my main account. It came to an old college email I hadn't checked in years. My dad must have dug through ancient contacts just to find it. No subject line. No greeting. Just one sentence. The lights went out. That night, I sat on my balcony with a glass of water, watching the city hum with electricity. Somewhere, 20 minutes away, my parents were sitting in the dark. No heat. No refrigerator. No Wi-Fi. Just silence and candlelight, and not the nice kind. They were finally feeling what I had lived with for years. Being invisible. Being the backup plan. The footnote. The afterthought. Leo came home the next day from his weekend trip. He looked refreshed. Laughed more. Walked a little lighter. He didn't ask about them. Didn't mention the dinner. Didn't ask why the group chat had gone silent. He just hugged me and said, "Thanks for holding down the fort, Dad." And for the first time, I realized something profound. I hadn't just unplugged a payment plan. I had unplugged a legacy. I had stopped teaching Leo that being needed was the same as being loved. I had shown him how to draw a line in the sand without apology. And somehow, that made everything feel clean. A week passed. Then another. No more emails. No texts. No calls. Chloe stopped posting. My mom stopped pleading. My dad disappeared from every platform. The silence was eerie, but honest. And in that stillness, something new began. I started rebuilding. Leo moved into his dorm 3 hours away. We made the drive together, listening to music, talking about classes, grabbing drive-through burgers like we used to when he was 10. He didn't mention the family once. Not on the way there. Not when I helped him unpack. Not when I hugged him goodbye. He was free. And so was I. Back home, I finally paid off my credit cards. Opened a savings account. Fixed the leaky faucet that had been dripping for years. I stopped skipping dentist appointments. I bought a new mattress. I upgraded my wardrobe. I went to a movie, alone, and laughed like I hadn't in ages. I even booked a short trip. Just a weekend by the lake. Nothing fancy. But the view was perfect. Quiet. Mine. One morning, I woke up to an envelope under my apartment door. No stamp. No return address. Just my name. Handwritten. My father's handwriting. I stood there holding the envelope like it might burn me. I didn't open it right away. Just set it on the counter and made coffee first. Took a shower. Got dressed. I let it sit there, waiting, like a ghost in paper form. When I finally opened it, there was only one sheet inside. No threats. No pleas. Just a letter. Daniel, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect you to forgive us. I just need you to know we understand now. You were right. We failed you. We failed Leo. We took you for granted. We treated you like an endless resource instead of a person. We thought that because you never asked, you didn't need. We thought that because you always showed up, we didn't have to. We were wrong. We sold the house last week. We're moving into an apartment. Your mom is working again. I'm trying to pick up hours wherever I can. Chloe's trying to handle things without help now. It's not easy, but we're managing. And for the first time, I think we understand the difference between survival and being supported. I miss you. I miss my grandson. I don't expect anything, but I wanted you to know we hear you now. Dad. I read it once. Then again. Then I folded it neatly and filed it in the red folder. Not because I was ready to reconnect, but because something in me needed to remember that even silence can be heard if you hold it long enough. Weeks went by. Fall settled in. The leaves changed. The air got crisp. Life felt calm. Leo called me one night. His voice was bright, excited. Dad! Guess what? I made the dean's list. I nearly dropped my drink. You serious? First semester, too. I wasn't sure I'd pull it off, but yeah. I did it. I felt something swell in my chest. Pride, yes. But also relief. Like I'd broken a cycle without even knowing it. That's incredible, Leo. I'm proud of you. So damn proud. Thanks, Dad. Hey, next time I'm home, you want to do dinner? Just us. Somewhere nice. Absolutely. You pick the place. Cool. Love you, Dad. Love you too, bud. I hung up and just sat there for a while. The city lights flickered outside the window. I realized I wasn't holding my breath anymore. I wasn't waiting for the next favor, the next phone call, the next crisis that needed fixing. I wasn't the family safety net anymore. I was a father. A man. A whole person again. The best part? Leo was becoming one too. One Saturday morning, about a month later, I walked into a local bookstore cafe. The kind with scratched up wooden floors and a bell that jingled when you enter. I grabbed a coffee and browsed a little. And that's when I saw her. Chloe. At a corner table with one of the twins, Paige, I think. Hair in a braid, doodling in a notebook. Chloe looked tired. Her phone sat face down beside a chipped coffee mug. She hadn't seen me. And I froze. Not out of fear. Just uncertainty. It had been months. Since the post. Since the emails. Since everything. I watched her from behind a shelf, feeling like some awkward spy in the parenting section. Then Paige looked up. She saw me. Her eyes widened just a little, and she smiled, small, hesitant, but real. I gave a little nod. Just enough to say, "Hi. I see you." She tugged Chloe's sleeve. Chloe turned. Her face changed. Shock, then guilt, then something like sadness. We locked eyes. Neither of us moved. Neither of us smiled. We just stood there, two people who used to be siblings, separated by more than just distance. Then I turned, walked to the register, bought a book I didn't need, and left. No confrontation. No drama. No closing line. Just a quiet exit, like I'd done my whole life. But this time, it was on purpose. That night, I lay in bed longer than usual. Not sad. Not angry. Just reflecting. Seeing Chloe had stirred up a strange mix of feelings. I didn't hate her. Not really. I wasn't sure I even had it in me to hate anyone anymore. But I didn't trust her either. There's this myth we grow up with, that family is unconditional. That no matter how many times they forget, exclude, or drain you, you're supposed to keep showing up. Smile. Forgive. fork over the check. But what I'd learned, the hard way, is that boundaries aren't cruelty. They're clarity. I could love my sister, even wish her well, without inviting her back into my life. I could care about my parents without carrying them. I could wave at my niece in a bookstore cafe and still walk away. I didn't need a dramatic reunion. I didn't need a staged apology. I didn't need a big family dinner with fake toasts and deeper silence. What I needed was this: peace. And I was finally living inside it. A few days later, I got a letter. Not handwritten this time. Printed. Formal. It was from the car loan company I'd co-signed for Amanda years ago. Or rather, what used to be Amanda's car loan. The vehicle had been repossessed last month. The letter was a final notice, confirming the auction date. They were only contacting me out of obligation, since I'd co-signed. No action required. Just a courtesy. I stared at it, expressionless. Not because I didn't care, but because I no longer felt responsible. Amanda had made choices. My parents had made choices. So had Chloe. So had I. And that was the turning point, wasn't it? Realizing I wasn't obligated to rescue people from the consequences of their own decisions, especially when they never once tried to rescue me from mine. I didn't scan the letter into the red folder. Didn't print it. Didn't save it. I just tossed it into the recycling bin. It felt good to throw something away without second guessing. It felt clean. Leo came home for winter break. He was taller. His voice deeper. He had this calm confidence about him now, like he was finally growing into his own space, his own rhythm. We ordered pizza the first night. Watched an old sci-fi movie. Halfway through, he paused it and looked over at me. "Hey, Dad?" "Yeah? Thanks for everything. Not just college. Just all of it. I know it hasn't been easy." I nodded. "You don't have to thank me, bud. I'm your dad. That's the job." He smiled. "Yeah, but you never made me feel like a burden. I know some people who, well, let's just say their dads aren't like that." I felt a lump rise in my throat. I swallowed it down. He continued, "I don't know what happened with Grandma and Grandpa, but I'm glad we're okay. I'm glad I have you." I reached over, squeezed his shoulder. "You always will." And I meant it. Because for all the money I'd spent trying to hold up a family that never saw me, this one moment, was the only return that ever truly mattered. The investment had never been in them. It was always him. The night before Leo went back to school, we had dinner at that same downtown restaurant, just like we had the night of his graduation. Same candles. Same tablecloths. Different feeling. This time, he wasn't scanning the room for missing faces. He wasn't wondering who didn't show up. He wasn't carrying that quiet ache in his eyes. He was just present. Full. Steady. He told me about his new classes. A professor he really liked. A girl he was kind of maybe seeing. He talked like someone who knew he was seen, supported, loved without conditions. And I just listened. Not distracted. Not worrying about who needed what from me. Not calculating which bill I had to cover next. Just a man and his son, eating pasta and laughing under warm lights. After dessert, he leaned back in his chair, smiled, and said, "You look happy, Dad." And without thinking, I said, "I am." I didn't say it lightly. I meant it. Because I wasn't tired anymore. I wasn't empty. I wasn't trying to earn a place at a table that had never saved me a seat. I had built my own table. And it only had room for people who saw me, truly saw me. Leo hugged me outside the restaurant. "Drive safe, old man," he joked, and walked off toward his friend's car. I watched him disappear into the city night, tall and certain, his future wide open. And as I turned to head home, I realized something that stopped me in my tracks. After 9 long years of paying for a family who never saw me, I had finally stopped the payments. But more importantly, I had finally started investing in myself. And it was paying off in peace. In freedom. In love that didn't come with a receipt.